What if I told you one of the most famous serial killers in history might have finally been understood, but only after 51 years? And even then, nobody knows who he really was. And here's the worst part. He wanted to be caught, but nobody did that. In today's video, we'll be talking about a different kind of Zodiac. Not one that would tell you your future, but rather one that will end up in a murder. Well, that's the Zodiac Killer for you. We'll be talking about murders, costumes, secret codes, threats against school buses. Yes, that happened. And a cipher so complex no one alive in 1969 could have solved it. Hi, I'm Christique, and I would like to welcome you to Uncovered Stories, where we talk about strange myths, legends, and the hidden stories behind your favorite TV shows and video games. So offer a like and a subscribe to join the conversation, because legends and secrets are better uncovered together. So let's travel back in time into the late 1960s, Northern California. There were no smartphones, no DNA databases, no security cameras on every corner. Just dark roads, parked cars, and a guy who seemed obsessed with couples, mainly. He didn't really had a killing pattern. It's December 20, 1968, on a cold winter night. Two teenagers in love, David Faraday, 17, and Betty Lou Jensen, 16, went on a romantic date near Lake Herman Road. They're sitting in a parked car, getting cozy, keeping each other warm. You know, normal stuff that teenagers do nowadays. When someone walks up and opens fire, their bodies were later discovered outside their vehicle by somebody who passed by. No robbery, no argument, just pure execution. No suspects, no leading story to the murder, and no way to test the DNA they found. They just took a picture of it and called it an unsolved case. But 7 months later, on July 4th, 1969, another couple was getting hot and heavy in a parked car in Blue Rock Springs Park, almost 15 minutes away from where the previous victims had been found. This time, the killer shines a flashlight directly into their faces like he wants to be seen and shoots them both. Darlene Ferrin dies, but Mike But Mike survives and succeeds in giving the police a first description of the Zodiac Killer. And about an hour later, a calm voice calls the police. Not panicked, not rushed, and he gives the exact location of the murder. Then he casually says,
By the way, I also killed those kids last Christmas.
But yeah, he tells that he was the killer, and then he hangs up the phone. That's when people realized this wasn't just a murder, this was a whole spectacle. A month later, 3 newspapers from California received an identical handwritten letter in an envelope without a return address. They also had the same symbol at the end of them, a circle with a cross in it, the Zodiac signature. The letter said that he was the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman, and it had details of the crime that only the killer could have known, like what the victims were wearing or how many shots were fired. Also, the letter had a threat of further attacks if the letter wasn't printed on the front page of newspapers. See? On your front page by Friday afternoon, 1st August, blah blah blah. If you do not do this, I will go on a rampage, something something, until I have killed over a dozen people. Along with the letters, he sent a piece of paper with lots of strange symbols on it, kind of like a cipher, and one chilling sentence that, once decoded after a week, it said, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." Which is already horrifying, and I know sharing is caring, but come on, we don't really know who you are, so saying that out loud or written is not gonna bring you some new friends. But then he adds this tiny little spiritual text. "When I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all the people I have killed will be my slaves." And he doesn't stop there. He kept himself busy even the next month. In September 1969, somewhere near Lake Berryessa, near this lake. A different weapon, a different vibe, so that the police won't get bored. For us. The Zodiac shows up wearing a black executioner's hood with his symbol stitched on the chest. He ties up a couple having picnic, 22-year-old Cecilia Shepard and 20-year-old Brian Hartnell, and stabs them. Both survived the initial attack, Brian by playing dead, but Cecilia later died from her wounds. The good-ish part was that Cecilia managed to see Zodiac's face and gave police a description before she died. Her description matched Mike's. You remember Mike, the first survivor? At this point, California is terrified. Parents won't let their kids walk to school and people stop parking in quiet places. And then, a month later, October 11, 1969, something happened in San Francisco, in the middle of the city. A taxi driver named Paul Stein is shot in the head. The Zodiac tears off a piece of the man's bloody shirt and mails it to a newspaper, with a note and a threat about his next target, a school bus full of children. That attack never happened, but the damage was already done. Because now everyone was asking the same question. Who is this guy? And why does he want attention so badly? Here's where it gets really weird. The Zodiac sends 4 major ciphers. The first one, Z408, gets solved in a week by 2 school teachers. Simple substitution. But the second cipher, Z340, because it had 340 symbols, it takes 51 years. 51. An international team using modern computers, advanced math, and brute force processing finally cracks it in 2020. And the message? It had no confession, it gave no name, no big reveal. Instead, it said things like, "I hope you're having lots of fun trying to catch me." And that wasn't me on the TV show. Meaning the Zodiac was watching the coverage and was correcting it. Good job, police. Good job, FBI. Here's the unsettling part. Experts say the cipher was too complex for 1969, which means one of two things. Either the Zodiac was a cryptographic genius or he accidentally made a puzzle even he couldn't solve. And that changes everything. Because what if the Zodiac wasn't a mastermind? What if he was just someone who loved chaos and loved watching people struggle to understand him? He succeeded, but yeah. And as I said, nobody knows who he was or is, if he still lives. Over the years, suspects come and go. Arthur Leigh Allen is the favorite. He was an elementary school teacher who was suspected in the stabbing death of Cherry Jo Bates in 1966, a murder that police believe may have been committed by the Zodiac, as nothing certain. After the murder, 2 typed confession letters were mailed to police and a local newspaper. The typewriter used to create the letters was determined to be a Royal, and the Royal typewriter was found in Allen's home. Also, why Allen did not resemble the sketch of the Zodiac Killer, Mike identified Allen as the man who shot him. But the fingerprint and the DNA from the crime scenes do not match with Allen's. Another suspect is Gary L. Stewart, that claims in his book The Most Dangerous Animal that his biological father, Earl Van Best Jr., was the Zodiac. Among Stewart's evidence, he found E.V., Best, and Jr. in the Zodiac's cipher, which was supposed to reveal the killer's identity, and the mugshot of his father resembles the sketch of the Zodiac. The letters from the Zodiac stopped in 1974. No goodbye, no final cipher, no explanation, nothing. Just pure silence after this chaos. So here's the question that still messes people up. Did the Zodiac die, get arrested for something else, or did he simply stop because the world stopped caring? Because the scariest possibility isn't that we never caught him. Well, maybe this one also. But that he got exactly what he wanted. Attention, fame, fear, and a mystery that refuses to end even today. Because out there, 2 ciphers are still unsolved to this day. What do you think of this case? Have you tried cracking the code from those letters? Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to offer a like and a subscribe, because legends and secrets are better uncovered together. Also, if you want me to talk about a certain topic, you can also leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to talk about it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope it wasn't too cryptic. Take care of you and stay out of dark parking places, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Pow pow, pow pow pow!